Welcome back to a beautiful Wednesday morning here at the Billabong Pipe Masters. The waves are absolutely firing and maxed out. We've seen heavy wipeouts and some solid barrels to kick things off.
It crunches you down, as we see.
An opportunity for Kelly. Air drops, bottom turn, slams on the brakes. It's a stand-up barrel, a backdoor. Kelly getting everybody on their feet and showing that there is opportunities. A backdoor pipeline. He had a ton of room in that cavern.
Look at this, free fall drop. Comes off the bottom, slows himself down and just, I mean, look how big that wave is. Kelly Slater, 2 or 3 times over his head, standing tall in that tube ride right there. Beautiful, off the bottom, just hits the brakes and gets absolutely barreled. So that is going to be a massive score there for Kelly. Look at this drop right here. The whole board disengages from the face of the wave. Now he sets that inside rail. You see that back foot, he moves it a bit forward. Now he's back on the tail pad, slowed himself down. Perfect positioning, perfect timing. Kelly's done that 1,000 times before, but makes it look so easy, Joe.
Next wave already setting up for Kelly. He'll get out of there. Checking out left of pipeline. That wave just closing out. Didn't give him any scoring potential. And coming up next, Fanning going for a 4th world title, under pressure to perform against one of the best at pipe. Now back to the Spartan, Michel Perez, just riding out of his opening wave.
That was a wild ride there from Michel Perez. Check this drop here from Michel Perez. Didn't quite sneak underneath it. And then had the whereabouts just to ride out of that. You don't want to jump off right there, super shallow. Michel Perez just waiting for that wave to lose a little bit of energy.
Out. He loves this wave that much.
Oh, that drop, just the drop alone, and then slows himself down and just stands in one of the biggest barrels we've seen all day. Talk about spoilers coming into this event. You'd have to be crazy not to think that he's going to be...
We're able to get a piece of all of their equipment as we'll check out the board breakdown. Mick Fanning with Darren Hanley surfboards has the duck nuts. This one 6'3", 18 3/4, 2 1/4. He has the FCS 2s on a quad. He's got the pintail. Aritz Aramburu, Puka surfboards. They're able to get a lot of different shapers under their umbrella. He's got an Eric Arakawa, local shaper. He's got a 6'6", a bit bigger, but the biggest board is from Mackay McNamara, a rusty semi-gun, 6'8", 18 1/2, 2.4 inches thick. He's got the futures. All of these guys going with 4-fin setups for this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, 4-fin, obviously the choice in fin setups out here. It gives you more drive off the bottom, and it really does let
We were going out in the ocean since our mom first brought us in when we were babies. And then as soon as we could like really walk, we were going down there by ourselves and playing in the ocean, playing in the shore break. And then as we got bigger, we played in bigger and bigger shore break, and it was just fun, like just something we did every day. And we weren't even thinking about like training ourselves for like surfing bigger, heavier drops. It was just, that's what we had fun doing.
find her in time, going boom, boom, boom. She goes boom, swagger, swagger, boom, boom, swagger, boom, boom, boom. Swagger, swagger, boom, boom, swagger, boom, boom, boom.
You're watching round.
World titles. Not many guys have done that.
Well, it's interesting to see him grow over the years. I know Ronnie and Strider have been following his domination very closely ever since '07 when he opened up. I think the signature move you remember from that first world title might have been that class of body torque off the top, that rail work that Mick left on tour. What do you think, Ron?
Fact that Fanning was able to that year finish second in Tahiti. That was one of the first years that he recognised that he had a major weakness. It was his tube riding in bigger, heavier waves. He identified it. He went to Tahiti early, ended up running away with a second place finish, I think, behind Damien Hobgood that year. And ever since then, he's really stepped up and has been a major threat in waves like this.
I mean, you saw it in Tahiti. He was going nuts out there. He caught a wave after his heat when he lost out in Tahiti. That was possibly one of the biggest waves ridden that day. Amazing surfing from him. And now he's stepped up his game out here. He's been out here every single morning getting after it. He's so tuned in. He wants it that bad. And he's just been on fire out here.
He has. One thing about Mick is he's never backed up a world title. And this year he's put himself in a fantastic position to do that. But if you have a look at his results this year, the worrying trend so far has been when Mick has taken a win in the very next event, he's dropped a bad result. Personally, I don't see him doing that here at Pipe. I think he's probably going to mow through a few heats in this draw, just the way he's been surfing and just his whole vibe coming into this contest. He's really relaxed and he looks to be ready to go to war.
Well, I think, you know, basically you saw that trend, but like you said, he has been let in the door. You know, he's tasted that little bit of blood. You know, Medina and Slater, all the focus has been on them this whole year, and now they've opened this up and they've kind of faltered, and now he's right there in the party, you know, with full on in scenarios.
Yeah, you can see what Mick's got to do. Basically, Mick's got a fantastic shot if Medina bows out in the second or third round. Fanning will need a third to clinch the title. If he makes it to the quarters, there'll be a one-heat surf-off between the pair. That could be unbelievable. And of course, that's before we start talking about Kelly Slater. Obviously, Kelly needs to win the contest, but yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Is that Mick Fanning showing incredible form in this heat already has put together a pretty decent lead, Joe, a 7.33 and a 4.83. As Strider mentioned, just looks so hungry in this lineup.
Well, it looks very comfortable as well. Thanks, Ron. Thanks, Strider. Amazing to look at those scenarios unfold. But one thing that And making a move for it will be Kelly. Big takeoff, bottom turns, packs a heavy section of pipe. The wave spits its guts out, but he goes down.
Let's have a look. 2 hands on the board. You can see him. Look how much he's using every bit of his ability to get to the bottom of that one. Feet on the left-hand side of the board to get that rail in a bit more as he drives off the bottom. You can see the chandelier right here. It's going to clip him in the head. Kelly ducking for that one. You can see it flicks him off right there. It was a tough one. Kelly likes to pull in the barrel without using his hand on the rail, and in that case maybe should have, but that drop was super steep, kind of threw him off balance a little bit. Now he drives off the bottom, tries to duck. You can see him anticipating getting hit, and right there he does. So that lip clipped him in the head, needed to duck a little bit more, maybe use that hand on the rail technique, but hey, Kelly likes to do it differently.
Alive, Ronnie Blakey with Ross Williams. Also enjoying the pipeline up at the moment is Kelly Slater with Michelle Perez, and Kelly finding some nice cover, looking to back up a 9.5 from earlier in his heat.
Medina handled his business, very smooth heat for him, but Michelle Perez during the break, great tube ride for Michelle, and just trying to squeeze out that side door action. So tough to do today. These waves are very big, obviously, and so kind of heading out of that side door, that doggy door like we like to call it, is really tough. That lip chase butterflies.
This is Kelly Slater in heat 4. Kelly had a 3.93 to back up his 9.5. Fanning gets an 8.47 on his first wave, but Kelly Slater up now, and he is running his way through this barrel. It's going to get away from him though. He gets clamped inside of Kelly Slater.
Now watch Kelly's body. He's going to try and keep his body away from the wall of the wave. So he's not stalling. See that? How he's almost got both his hands forward. He's trying to stay as clean as possible because he needs every ounce of speed.
8.5 minutes to go. Kelly Slater fading from the takeoff. Drives off the bottom. Bit of foam on the face of this one. And it gets ugly on that inside sandbar. Kelly kicks out.
I'm sharing this heat. Well, here we go. Michelle Perez live action.
Michelle. Well, there's that spit that we were talking about. That one unloads a couple of times, and Michelle finds the exit. And here's the replay of Michelle from his last ride.
Yeah, just solid. You know, not super deep, but you can see it right there. It actually had a second section that pitched in front of Michelle, so he was deep for a second.
Arguably the best competitor that there's been in a number of years, as we see Kelly Slater taking off and kicking out. But Mick, well, Slater is going to hang on to the lead as the on-site announcer counts down heat number 4 of round 3. Slater with a 9.5 and a 3.93 will be moving on to round 4. Michelle Perez, well, that's his year over. We're going to take a quick break.